One of my most treasured possessions is my one and only portrait, drawn for me by an ex-working colleague called Roger Holgate, with whom I worked at Doncaster Works, the plant for anyone with local knowledge. I've always liked the linkage between engineering and art, and I felt extremely privileged at the time that Roger put me in the picture. What I love about the picture is that behind my own image, unusually cheery for me, is a paraphernalia of engineering detail and clutter, which brings alive for me the theme of a Class 37 locomotive under repair in Forebay. The Class 37 is so typical of the machines which plodded along all day to keep the railways working, so I'm really glad it is in my picture. I started at Doncaster Works as an engineering management trainee with a brand new degree in mechanical engineering. Donny Works put some practice into the theory, and after that I was let loose onto real trains. Man-machine interfaces were very important to reliable running. If a locomotive had a drafty cab, drivers became very ready to find fault with it. The next stage was the management bit, which brought a whole new set of people-machine interfaces. What I really learned is that you need to have confidence in the people. People like George Bennett, pictured here looking at a new, rather unintentional interface. I should have listened to him at the time. I would have saved BR several £100 sorting them out his way rather than mine. My parents introduced me to the world of railways, Puffing Billy and Billy Puff, the up and down trains on the Hayling Island branch. Whilst I didn't develop an addiction to beer until I discovered rugby, I did get addicted to the smell of coal, smoke and hot oil. I retired from train spotting in 1968 with the demise in steam traction on British Rail and went off to university. So, back to George Bennett. One Easter Sunday morning at 2 a.m, George and I were called out and duly attended. 2 locomotives on one road. George said, "They'll just roll back into place." "No," I said, "we'll call the breakdown team at first light." Once the team attended, we drove the engines back and they dropped straight back on. Nice one, George. The depots I managed grew bigger, Shirebrook, Nottingley and then Tinsley. My son and daughter came along, and the cycle of railway interest revolved again with my own version of Puffing Billy. I moved to various HQ positions before returning to where I started, at Doncaster, as manager of the BRML Works. I look back at Doncaster as one of the easiest jobs I ever had, because of the people round me. 777 of them when I started there, just a few of them pictured. BRML was sold on as part of the railway privatisation process, and I moved on as well. But they sent me off with a treasure, my very own portrait.